It's really a pleasure for me to be here, to see such an esteemed audience, to learn more about the SAFIR-Med project as such, because we've been collaborating as EUROCAE with SAFIR since just a couple of months, getting involved a little bit informally already before, but formally since a few months. And this is really important, and I'll come to that in a second, why this link between R&D projects, demonstrations, and the standardization aspect is so important. Before doing so, just maybe one or two words on EUROCAE. EUROCAE is a standardization organization. We have 400 members. So we're not an EU agency, we're not an EU institution, but we're a European organization with our roots here, but we're an international standardization organization. 400 members, including obviously the aviation industry, service providers, regulators, research institutes, like this is our joint undertaking, and many more, and since more recently also working a bit on the aeromedical side, and I'll come back to that in a second. So we do develop internationally recognized standards that build up on the state of the art of our members, and this is really important. It's not me writing the standards. I always say it's detrimental if I pick up the pen. No, it's really the members who write the standards. So it's industry who's writing standards for industry that are fit to be adopted internationally, support operational development and regulatory processes, and we have a very strong collaboration with EASA on this, and address emerging global aviation challenges. And I think what we see here today is exactly one of those emerging challenges. The link between R&D and standardization is really crucial, because it's a key factor for successful deployment in the end. That's why EUROCAE and our council is very strong on this. We're always ready to support European or international R&D projects, so that we can make sure that we start the standardization at just that sweet spot to enable a timely deployment. That's why we also have very close collaborations with the SJU, with the EASA, so that we can actually all work together, that we offer a complete package of standards and regulations, so that we enable deployment. We have many successful examples on the ATM side. Take remote towers, for example, or many other items where we have that, where we've done that quite successfully, or are doing that quite successfully. Drones are increasingly prevalent and more and more becoming a reality. To perform efficient operations, as we've just seen, U-Space is really critical, and I really liked your video, Richard, with this, because it shows how it will become a reality. And also the regulatory part, which we'll hear about in the next panel from Maria and the other colleagues, is really going to be one of the cornerstones to enable that in a safe way. Nevertheless, we also need common standards for the digital services, so that we ensure that the standards are relevant to the operations and for harmonized procedures, technology, etc. And that's why the early interaction with SESAR demonstrations, validations, projects like this one are so important, so that we really support early movers in the implementation of the use-based regulation, as well as maturing and validating more advanced services. Putting together aviation and medical shows how we can concretely benefit from this as a society, and these first projects are really interesting. EUROCAE, as I mentioned before, has been working a bit, triggered by COVID, as so many other things, been working on the aeromedical domain, mostly focusing on the thermal recognition of passengers that might be sick, so body temperature scanning at the airport aircraft gate. Now also going into air ambulance operations, so going closer also to merging the medical and the aviation side, and this is where we see really a big benefit of this collaboration. What's being done in this project, though, shows also how it all goes into many other areas. This is not just about drones. This also goes on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, ATM digitalization. Spectrum will be for sure an issue going into use space. Not to forget the software development part. We're looking at low-risk software for low-risk applications at the moment, but also maybe the SWAL, the well-known documents which we use on the ATM side, ED153 and others, might have to be adapted. And how can we adapt it? How do we work together to make sure that we cover the needs of specific use-based operations and still make sure that we maintain the safety levels that we're all so used to and that are so dear to our heart. Anyway, I'll keep this short. I was asked to keep this short. It's just a keynote. I'm ready for any other ideas to be proposed to EUROCAE. We're very ready to support SAFIR-Med and any other projects to make research a reality and do our little but crucial part in that. I wish all of us a very successful conference. I look forward to the discussions, and thanks again to Michael and your team.